Hello, I'm Will Newton. From 1991 to 2005, the Atlanta Braves won 14 consecutive division titles. It was an unprecedented run in Major League Baseball and likely will never be matched again. At the helm for the Braves for all those titles was iconic manager Bobby Cox, who took over as manager in 1990 and turned a cellar dweller into a perennial contender. Cox had actually managed the Braves from 1978 to 1981, but it was his second stint as manager in Atlanta that was truly magical.
Bobby Cox began his playing career in the early 1960s, bouncing around the minors before finally breaking into the big leagues in 1968 with the New York Yankees. Although a promising player, Cox's bad knees forced him to give up playing after only 2 seasons. He wasn't about to leave the game, however, and the Yankees saw promise in him as a manager and sent him into their minor league system to manage for 6 seasons. Cox got his first job managing in the majors with the Atlanta Braves from 1978 to 1981. All did not go so well, however, and Cox ended up in Toronto, managing the Blue Jays from 1982 until 1985. 1986 saw Cox come back to Atlanta to be the general manager of the Braves, a position which he held until appointing himself manager of the team in June of 1990. He wanted a chance to manage the good young talent he had assembled as the team's GM, which included a young shortstop out of Jacksonville, Florida, named Larry Jones, or Chipper to many. In 1991, Cox thought he had put together a good ball club, but he had no idea how good. They were coming off of a last-place season, and much work had to be done in order to improve in the standings. However, the Braves shocked the world by going from worst to first in 1 year and taking the first National League pennant for the city of Atlanta. Sadly, it ended there as the Braves lost the World Series to the Minnesota Twins. Just to show it was no fluke and the Braves were now a force to be reckoned with, they went back to the World Series the following season, where unfortunately they came up short yet again to the Toronto Blue Jays. With the help of John Sherholz as GM, Cox knew that something special had been built in Atlanta. The pieces were in place, but winning a World Series would still be tough to come by. But then in 1995, the team finally broke through and won the big one. It was the first World Championship in any sport for the city of Atlanta. Bobby Cox had led the Braves to the top of the mountain. The Braves would go on to win 9 more division titles and appear in 2 more World Series after that. They were unable to bring home any more world titles. It was a tough pill for Bobby Cox to swallow, although he was in the process of cementing himself as one of the greatest managers of all time. Part of Bobby Cox's legacy was the oversight of some truly special players who would all tell you in an instant that they would have never gotten as far as they did without Bobby Cox. He was a great mentor to his players and put them in positions to succeed, which they did. Cox was also a player's manager who stuck up for his guys whenever he could, even though sometimes it cost him, as evidenced by his major league record of 158 ejections. But the message was loud and clear. Bobby Cox stood by you and had your back no matter what. His players knew this and had the utmost respect for him. Everybody loved Bobby. Things like that can make a guy want to play his heart out for his manager. That's what Bobby's guys always did. And whenever Bobby seemed the most gruff, he'd always pop out a joke that would put everyone at ease. That may be what the players love most about him, his even keel. Having success as a manager is about more than just knowing the game. It's about knowing your players and how to reach out to them and have them respond in a way that breeds success. Legendary sports writer Furman Bisher, a friend of Cox's, once said that Bobby Cox was a genius at being able to reach a player. Whether it was a deep conversation on a long flight home, or maybe just the simplest call out to a guy when he's at the plate. But whatever it was, Bobby's players always responded. After the last division title, Cox and the Braves fell on some hard times, missing the playoffs 4 years in a row. After the last miss in 2009, Cox announced that he would be retiring at the end of the 2010 season. It was tough news for anyone to hear, as Cox had been at the helm for so long. But in the back of everyone's minds, they always knew this day would come. There was only one thing to do now, and that was to send Bobby out a winner. On the last day of the 2010 season, in what would be his final regular season game at Turner Field, the Braves clinched the wild card spot and sent Bobby Cox back to the playoffs. The Braves didn't advance past the divisional series, but their accomplishments were more than enough to send Bobby off happy and proud. It was finally the end of one of the greatest managerial careers in the history of baseball. After spending almost half a century in the game and touching the lives of so many people, it was time to walk away. Bobby Cox had given his life to baseball, and baseball had become a better game because of Bobby Cox.
Bobby Cox went on to win 2,504 games as a Major League manager. He was the winningest manager in Braves franchise history and the 4th winningest manager in Major League history. His storied career is truly the stuff of legend, and he will be forever loved not just in Atlanta, but in all of baseball. For Skybox, I'm Will Newton.